Penny here. Let me start today with one of my absolute all-time favorite quotes. It is by Henry Ford. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. All right, you ready for this one? I hope you're excited. Now, have a think about that for a second, because in direct selling, if you keep doing the same things, showing up the same way, posting the same kind of content, having those same conversations, you'll keep getting the same results. It's as simple as that. And if those results aren't quite where you want them to be, something has to change. So in today's video, we are going to talk about what that something might be. And I'll share a few stories and simple strategies with you to help you step outside of your comfort zone and start seeing new results in your business. Let me start by sharing with you. If you have never heard my story before, you might be new to my world. When I first joined my direct selling company that I was with previously, back in 2006, I had no idea what I was doing. I had a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and 18 months later, I had another baby in my arms. Although I did leave her at home while I used to go out and do in-home parties. I'd been a stay-at-home mum for years, and I'd lost some of that confidence I once had when I was backpacking solo around Europe in my 20s. But there was this moment when I realized that if I keep doing what I've always done, that nothing's going to change, right? So I said yes to something that I had never done before, joining a direct selling company, right? It was completely outside of my comfort zone. I didn't know what to expect. I just knew I wanted something more for myself and also my family. And you know what? That one decision changed everything. It led to 16 years of growth, learning, and building a multi-million-dollar business. And it all started with that one brave yes. Sometimes stepping outside of your comfort zone, it doesn't just start with confidence, it starts with courage. And I sometimes reflect back on what my life would have been like if I hadn't said yes 20 years ago, right? Because it's almost 20 years ago since I got into the direct selling industry. So I'm going to share with you some tips today. So first up, these are things that are going to help you to grow your direct selling business. And that's why I'm sharing them with you today, right? So my first tip for you is I want you to go live in your Facebook customer group. And let me know down below if it's something you've done before, if it's something you do regularly, or if it's not something you've ever done before, right? So I'm going to go with, if you haven't done it before or you've hardly ever done it, then this is really for you, right? So it is something that can truly change the game for your business, going live in your Facebook customer group. And I know this can feel scary. I have so many women tell me, Penny, I hate being on camera, or I wouldn't know what to say, right? But lives help people see you, right? Your personality, your energy, your authenticity, and they build trust faster than they build trust faster than anything else, right? You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be real, right? That's what people connect with, right? So share what's new this month, a product you love, or a quick demo, right? Even 5 minutes of going live can completely change the connection that you have with your customers, right? And if you've never done a live before, I want you to make this week the week you try, right? Because remember, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got, okay? So next, tip number 2. The next thing I want to encourage you to do is actually share your why. Your why is what keeps you going. And it's what helps people understand your heart, your why you are doing this. What is it about? Why are you passionate about sharing your products and your opportunities, right? When I first started, my why was to contribute to our family income and regain some of that confidence that I had lost, right? And as time went on, it grew into something bigger, helping other women see what's possible for them. And a really, really became passionate about that. It was a big part of my direct selling journey. And it's also what led me onto becoming a coach for women in the direct selling industry. So when you share your why on Facebook, in a post, a story, or even a reel, you invite people into your journey. It helps them connect emotionally or just transactionally. Sorry, it helps them connect emotionally, not just transactionally, right? So not just sharing sales posts, right? Not just sharing images of the products that you offer, right? Going live and talking to people. Going and you can do that, with sharing your why. But when you share your why on Facebook, it really does help people connect with you, and you need to build that know, like, and trust. And so it's a really great way to do it, right? So if you have never shared your why before, this week is the perfect time, because you never know who you will inspire to take their own next step, whether that's making a purchase from you, whether that's booking an event with you, if that's something that you offer, becoming a VIP customer, or even joining your team, right? I want to talk to you next about following up with people, right? So I'll never forget when I realized all those years ago, I was losing sales simply because I wasn't following up, right? I'd tell myself things like, she probably doesn't want it, or I don't want to bother her, or I don't want to come across as spammy or pushy. And I'm sure you're sitting here listening to me saying this and you're going, oh my God, I've had those same thoughts in my head, right? But one day I thought, that's not the kind of businesswoman I want to be. And you know what? If you have your own direct selling business, you are a businesswoman. You are a woman in business. Okay. So I started following up kindly, consistently, and professionally, right? It's part of good customer service. And you know what? So many people replied with, oh, thanks for checking in. I meant to order. That's when I learned that follow-up isn't pushy, it's professional, it's customer service. I've even been, in the past, I've been approached in the supermarket, in the local supermarket, by women who are we're in my message list to reach out, my customer service message list, who go, oh my gosh, so glad you sent me that message. I totally forgot to respond, and I didn't actually need anything at the time, but I love that you follow up with me and let me know what's happening, and that was always a really good positive reinforcement that I wasn't annoying people. People were actually genuinely pleased that I was reaching out and letting them know what was going on, etc. Right? So if you're someone who has been avoiding follow-up because it feels awkward or scary, try doing it differently this week. Send a few friendly messages. Reconnect with people who've shown interest before. Now, I'm recording this for you in the lead up to Christmas. So this is actually a really, really good time to actually be reconnecting with those people who have shopped with you before, but maybe not for a while. Reconnect, talk to them about Christmas gifting and how you can help them, right? But I'm sure, if it's a different time of year you're watching this, there's many different reasons that you can reach out with those messages to do that follow-up, okay? Because sometimes the thing that moves your business forward is the thing that you have been avoiding. I've got another story for you, actually. One of my BEEHIVE program members, when she first joined last year, one of the first workshops we did after she joined was all about customer follow-up. And she was absolutely mind blown by that workshop. And she took so much information and strategies and tips away from that workshop. She went and put them into action and started doing customer follow-up with people who had purchased recently, but also with women that had not purchased from her in a long time. And her sales literally went through the roof. And she was just like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I have been avoiding the customer follow-up for so long. If I'd realized what a difference it makes to my business, I surely would have done this before. So absolutely love that. And I totally 100% encourage you to follow up, right? Such an important thing to do. Tip 3, trying something new, even if it feels uncomfortable, right? Growth happens when you do something different, Maybe it's creating your first reel, it might be booking your first event, or showing up more consistently online. But new results always come from new actions, right? When I transitioned 5 years ago from running my own direct selling business to coaching women across different companies, I had to learn a whole new set of sort of behind the scenes skills. So things like booking systems, so I could book sessions in with my clients, creating organic ads, because I was, whereas previously I was guided by what the direct selling company I was with provided to create my own content. Now I was actually creating from scratch, right? Nobody else was telling me, what sort of stuff I should be sharing to help other women get to know about me, to get to know about my free Facebook group, which, I share daily tips and motivation in there. Nobody telling me how to do that, right? I had to go and learn how to do that and start creating that kind of content. About how to use email platforms. Hey, if you're not subscribed to my emails yet, type the word email down below and I'll get a link out to you so you can get my weekly newsletter. I needed to learn how to build landing pages and developing an online training portal for my members. And even now with starting my YouTube channel, again, this is another learning curve for me. How does YouTube work? What do I need to put out there? All these sorts of things, right? I too am always continuously learning, and I have my own business and marketing coach as well. It was a completely new world for me, and honestly there have been moments where I've wanted to give up. Honestly, I will be hand on heart honest, right? Sometimes it feels overwhelming, sometimes it feels too much, right? Just like I had moments like that back in my direct selling career, and I'm sure you've had moments like that. To be honest, if you haven't at some time wanted to quit your direct selling business, you're probably not putting, you're not putting your all into it, right? You're not putting your everything into it, So, let me know and have a think about that too, right? Have you ever wanted to quit? I know I had many times where I had that happen, but every time I pushed through that discomfort, right? I kept going because I went back to my why. Remember how I talked to you about your why earlier? Know what your why is, but also put your why out there to the world. But my confidence grew every time I took those steps and I worked through that discomfort, right? So here's my question for you. What's one thing you've been putting off because it feels hard or unfamiliar? Have a think. What is it? Thinking about it. Have you got it? Right? Write it down. Go do that thing. Because remember, if you always do what you've always done, you know what the result will be that you'll get, right? It'll be the same as what you've always got in the past. Okay, so really, really go out and do something you haven't done before, something that has felt scary and uncomfortable. Put your big girl panties on, find your 20 seconds of courage and get out there and go do it. I've got another tip for you. Tip number 4. Can I count my fingers today? Tip number 4. Surround yourself with growth-minded people, right? If you want to grow, spend time around others who are growing too, right? You want to surround yourself with people who are positive, who are focused on moving forward, who are not the negative Nancy's, right? And we all know those negative Nancy's out there that, I can't get sales, I can't find customers, I can't get bookings. You know what? There are ways to do, to be able to get those things that you want. And having a whinge about it and having a pity party about it is not how you are going to achieve those results, right? You've got to have that positive belief that you can move these things forward. And of course, learning what the right strategies are, right? And this is exactly what I see happening inside of my BEEHIVE membership program. Women are trying new things, learning new strategies and getting incredible results because they've decided to stop doing what they've always done, right? And we've always got new women coming into the program, which is absolutely fantastic and exciting. We've got women from dozens of different companies, which is also brilliant as well. And some of those women, for instance, like Lou, she has tripled her sales since joining my BEEHIVE membership program, and she's been promoted up the ranks. She's just recently celebrated that leadership rank change, which has been really amazing. Sandy, she has doubled her sales. And let me tell you a little bit about Sandy. Sandy is actually in her 70s and shares Nutrimetics, right? So as a discussion or a chat I've had with Sandy, you can still teach an old duck new tricks, right? Sandy came to me to learn more about social media, to learn how to use Facebook to help her grow her direct selling business with Nutrimetics, and she has doubled her sales, right? That could be you too. And then there's Amy, who has consistently doubled and then tripled her previous sales since joining my program. And look, Amy was in my program a year or so ago. She did it for a little while. She decided, because of various different financial pressures, to take a step back, but she really missed it. And she noticed that her sales actually went really, really backwards. So she made that slightly scary decision to invest in herself again, to find that money that she needed to pay for the BEEHIVE membership program every month. And she took that brave step and she did it. And since she did that, since she's been back in my BEEHIVE membership program, she has consistently doubled her sales and then tripled those previous sales. And I just absolutely love it. She brings so much energy to our group coaching sessions, which is brilliant. Everyone inside the BEEHIVE is buzzing with growth and momentum because we've got the trainings, we've got the support. And when you lean in and you watch the trainings and you lean into the support and you take the actions, you see the difference in your business, right? It works. Some of my ladies like to call it drinking the penny Kool-Aid, right? If you do what I say, it works, right? If you don't do what I say, then it won't work. It's nothing's going to change. Again, remember, it's about, if nothing changes, nothing changes, right? And it, for these women, and so many of my other BEEHIVE membership program women over the years, who've seen these massive growths and leadership rank changes and all these things, it's because they made a decision, right? The decision to do things differently, to back themselves, and to take action even when it felt new, right? I want you to think about that, okay? So lovely. Here's what I want you to remember today. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got, right? Love that quote from Henry Ford. It really is so very, very true, right? But if you try something new, if you stretch yourself a little and you can stay open to learning, you will be amazed by what is possible. So this week, go live, share your why, follow up, and try that thing that you've been avoiding, because change doesn't happen from comfort. It happens from courage. And you can build the business and life you dream of, one brave action at a time. All right. So my lovelies, if this video gave you that little spark you needed today, my little boost of energy for you, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and share it too with another woman in direct selling who's ready for growth. And tell me in the comments, what's one thing you're going to do differently this week? Pop it down below. I will double back and have a look. Thanks for watching, lovely, and I will see you again next week. Bye.